Welcome to the deep dive. We've pulled together a stack of fresh sources, all focused on one single, pretty pivotal day in AI history, September 25, 2025. And our mission today really is to analyze this specific moment because it seems to clearly show AI shifting, from just an experimental thing into something more like foundational global infrastructure.
Exactly.
You see these huge corporate strategy changes, massive scientific leaps, all happening almost simultaneously within this 24-hour window.
That's right. This snapshot, it really captures an inflection point. Capability and competition are just hitting a peak. So for you listening, this means we'll dig into some stunning breakthroughs, finance, quantum physics,
Wow.
alongside these critical real-world applications like AI stepping in to forecast incredibly complex tropical storms.
Okay, let's unpack this then, starting with that corporate AI arms race. Because the competition for the key human talent is just fierce right now.
It really is. The sources show Meta's Superintelligence Lab scoring a massive win today. They've poached Yang Song, a lead researcher, contributed significantly to OpenAI's DALL-E 2 image generation. Big name.
Yeah, that's not just any name that's top-tier talent, effectively IP, walking out the door. Song is now a research principal at Meta, reporting to another OpenAI alum, actually, Xingjie Zhao, who heads up their science efforts.
Right.
That kind of talent drain, it's maybe the clearest sign of this IP movement, and Meta's clearly capitalizing.
And even as, the internal structures shift around talent, those big tech partnerships, they're also showing some strain. We see Microsoft today subtly adjusting its long-standing, almost exclusive relationship with OpenAI.
Just by putting in, over $11 billion since 2019?
Exactly. Huge investment, but now they're expanding Copilot.
Right. Integrating Anthropic's Claude models, Opus 4.1, Sonnet 4, as alternatives, within some Microsoft 365 Copilot services.
Yeah, the researcher agent, for example, can now use Claude Opus 4.1.
Okay.
So this looks like significant strategic diversification. Microsoft clearly wants to avoid relying completely on just one provider.
Exactly.
But the question is, why now? I mean, does this maybe suggest OpenAI's models aren't scaling quite efficiently enough, or maybe economically enough, for every single Copilot task? Yeah. Forcing Microsoft to look elsewhere.
Or maybe just demanding choice and capability across the board. Meanwhile, this infrastructure race that underpins everything, it's accelerating globally. And, maybe nobody's spending faster than Alibaba right now.
Yeah, Alibaba announced huge plans, expanding physical infrastructure, new data centers in Brazil, France, the Netherlands.
Wow.
And their CEO basically said the speed of development, the global demand, it's just far exceeded what they expected.
So much so that Alibaba's spending is going to blow past its previous forecast, that 3-year, $53 billion plan. Their CEO thinks global AI spending will top, get this, $4 trillion over the next 5 years.
$4 trillion. That's the scale we're talking about. And they backed up that spending push with a big model announcement, too.
Right, the new model.
Alibaba debuted Qwen 3 Max, their largest yet, over 1 trillion parameters. And they're claiming it outperformed rivals, like Anthropic's Claude, on some key metrics. It's a full-stack play, for the models right down to the servers.
Okay, let's shift from corporate strategy to pure capability. And these next 2 points are, they're pretty staggering. We're seeing loops today that span high finance and theoretical physics.
Yeah, let's start with finance. So, research out today from NYU's Stern and Goodfin confirmed it. Frontier models from OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, they can now reliably pass all 3 levels of the CFA exam, Chartered Financial Analyst.
The CFA, that's always been seen as the gold standard for financial expertise. Humans spend, thousands of hours studying for that?
1,000 hours is typical, yeah.
So what was the specific barrier the AI just cleared?
It was level 3.
Yeah.
Specifically the essay questions, the constructed response parts, those test complex reasoning, application, stuff that stumped models just a couple of years back. The research showed 9 different models got passing scores, over 63%, on MOG level 3 exams. And OpenAI's O4 Mini, it scored 79.1% on the essay portion alone.
79%. And the models did this in minutes, right? Not 1,000 hours.
Minutes.
The implication here, if you're listening and you're in finance, this is huge. If models can nail 79% on complex essay reasoning, what's the time frame before they handle, say, client relationship management too? Or is that still the human firewall?
Well, that's exactly the shift everyone's talking about. This analytical leap means the human role that's purely about synthesizing research reports, investment rationales.
Right.
That's likely going to decline, probably dramatically.
Right.
Your value then shifts entirely toward those, let's call them soft skills. Client relationships, judgment context,
Yeah.
ethical calls, things that are still pretty resistant to automation. For now, anyway.
Okay, shifting gears again. From money to matter, literally. We saw a capability leak today that could seriously accelerate the timeline for quantum computing.
Yeah, this is really profound stuff in material science. MIT, working with Google DeepMind, launched something called SCGen. It's an AI framework designed to basically invent new materials.
Invent them.
Yeah, materials with exotic quantum properties. And it does this by enforcing geometric design rules on the generative model itself.
Ah, so the AI isn't just spitting out random concepts, it's making sure they actually obey the laws of physics before they even leave the simulation.
Exactly. So SCIGen generated something like 10 million potential materials. And critically, it identified about 1 million of those as stable enough to actually exist in the real world.
1 million stable candidates.
Yeah. And then the researchers went into the lab, and they successfully built 2 brand new materials, TiPi-DBi and TiPi-BSB, confirming the AI's predictions about their magnetic behaviors actually worked.
Wow, so why this matters? Quantum computers need these really special materials, right? Stuff that's rare in nature. This AI system basically just bypasses years, maybe decades, of searching the periodic table manually.
Precisely. It drastically shortens the timeline for quantum breakthroughs, finding millions of stable candidates almost instantly. That's a game changer.
Okay, now let's look at AI in the wild. The tools hitting the consumer space and also the systems making critical real-time decisions today.
Right, so on the consumer front, Google launched Search Live today in the US.
This is their new visual search thing, right? You point your phone camera at something, I don't know, some weird street food or a plant, and you ask the AI a question out loud about what you're seeing.
Exactly. But it doesn't just answer that one question. It uses this technique called query fan-out.
Query fan-out.
Yeah, think of it like this. You ask, what is this strange plant? It doesn't just tell you the plant's name. It simultaneously spins up related searches like, is it poisonous? How do I care for it? Things like that.
Ah, okay, so it gives you a much broader answer without you having to ask follow-up questions.
Right, a more comprehensive sort of holistic response instantly.
And we also saw OpenAI rolling out a preview today, ChatGPT Pulse, for their pro users. This seems to be pushing the assistant towards being more proactive.
Exactly. Pulse is designed to proactively research things and deliver personalized updates based on your past chats, your stored memory, connected apps, stuff like that.
So the AI is kind of working for you in the background, even when you're not directly talking to it?
Pretty much. Delivering like a personalized news feed of things it thinks you ought to know based on your interests and history.
Interesting. But maybe the most critical real-time application we saw today was in weather forecasting, dealing with Tropical Storm Humberto and another system, Invest 94L.
Yeah, this was a really tricky situation. High uncertainty because forecasters were worried about something called the Fujiwara effect.
Right, where 2 storms basically start orbiting each other.
Exactly, which means their projected track can just suddenly shift, like 90 degrees in only a few hours. That kind of rapid, nonlinear change is precisely where AI models can really shine.
Because the traditional physics-based models, they take hours to run, even on supercomputers. But these AI models, like Google's GraphCast or the European Center's AIFS, they use machine learning trained on decades of historical data.
And they can generate a pretty reliable 15-day forecast in literal seconds on laptops.
Seconds versus hours.
That speed lets meteorologists instantly run dozens of what-if scenarios. It can be the difference between a late warning and a crucial life-saving early one.
And there's data backing this up, right? The accuracy improved.
Oh, yeah. AI models are proving to be, on average, over 85 miles closer to the storm's eventual path at that critical 5-day forecast mark compared to some top traditional ensemble models.
85 miles closer. That's a huge difference in preparation time on the ground.
Massive.
Which actually brings us to a quick do-better tip for you, the listener, especially during hurricane season. Always ignore those wild single-model spaghetti plots you see going viral on social media. They usually represent just one outlier run. Always look for the ensemble mean, that thicker line, or the cone of uncertainty. That shows the consensus of multiple models, both AI and traditional. Trust the consensus, not the chaos.
Well said. And, you know, this kind of raises an important question. Capabilities just surging ahead, but trust in AI. It doesn't seem to be keeping pace. And that tension is really crucial. We saw this clearly in the Google Cloud Dora report today. This is about AI-assisted software development. Adoption. Huge. It surged to 90%. Developers are spending like 2 hours a day using AI tools.
And they're seeing productivity gains, right?
Yeah, big time. 80% report enhanced efficiency.
Right.
But here's the paradox.
Okay.
Despite relying on it so heavily, 30% of those same developers trust the AI outputs either, quote, a little or not at all.
30%. Wow. So they're using it constantly but don't fully trust it?
Exactly. Which suggests maybe developers have found the current best practice,
Yeah.
right? Leverage the AI for huge productivity boosts for efficiency, but always apply human judgment as that final quality control layer. That professional skepticism might actually be a necessary safeguard right now against misinformation or errors creeping into the code. Quality control stays human-driven.
Okay. And then on the, let's say, the ethical side of the human reaction, the debut of the Stanley Experience interactive hologram at LA Comic-Con today, that stirred up immediate controversy.
Yeah, the creators stated their goal was, paying homage, extending his voice and spirit. They promised they'd never put words in his mouth.
But the fan reaction online was pretty swift, wasn't it? People calling it ghoulish, distasteful, dystopian.
Very strong reactions.
And this connects directly to those broader ethical debates about repurposing digital likenesses, right? We saw similar things with like the William Shatner Interactive Archive. Who owns a person's digital legacy after they're gone?
It's a huge question.
Especially as AI makes these incredibly realistic interactive versions possible, that public debate is only going to intensify, I think.
No doubt about it.
Okay, so we've covered immense scale, incredible capability leaps today. Stepping back for a second, what are the two defining tension points that really capture this 24-hour period?
I think September 25, 2025, it really highlights the stunning speed of AI capability. You've got models mastering the CFA exam in minutes, designing quantum materials basically instantly.
Right.
But then running right up against that speed is the critical human element. You see it in the developer skepticism, the maybe necessary quality control layer, and you see it in the very messy ethical dilemmas like the Stanley hologram, questions of consensus, taste, legacy.
Yeah. It feels like the technology is just moving faster than human comfort levels, maybe faster than our ethical frameworks can keep up.
Yeah.
The most important conversations right now seem to be about where we draw those lines of trust, lines of ethics.
Absolutely. That's the core tension.
Well, thank you for engaging with us in this deep dive, looking closely at this pivotal moment in AI history.
Yeah, we hope this snapshot gives you, the listener, a clearer sense of the sheer momentum, but also the really critical debates happening right now.
Definitely. And as you go about your day, here's maybe one final provocative thought for you to mull over. If AI can now reliably pass the toughest financial analyst exam and design revolutionary materials basically on demand, what specialized non-relational skill set do you think will be truly untouchable by these frontier models 5 years from now? Something for you to explore on your own.